I'm looking back at my other songs, I'm like, this is way better than those.
Yeah. Why would I
Like,
release those if I just made this?
I kind of don't even want to drop those no more because
Yeah.
I like this one better. But
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm in a jag and I'm whipping it fast. Niggas going outside, they be stressed. Yeah, I be getting
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Offbeat presented by Vision Collective. If you don't already know, this series is where we are going to do exclusive interviews with our favorite artists, producers, and other creatives. Today, I'm joined by one of my favorite artists at the moment, one of Promoting Sound's highest streamed artists, millions of streams on Spotify, Taylr Woods.
what's good, y'all? What's good, bro?
All right, so hopping right into the first question, just kind of basic. How did you get into music? You know, when you were growing up, were you surrounded by other people who made music, anyone in your family, or was it something that you kind of just picked up on your own?
Actually, I don't think anybody in my family. Well, no, that's a lie. Growing up, before I met the people that do make music in my family, nobody that I knew of was making music in my family. But as a kid, I just like music, just listening to it as a kid. Like I would be in the car with my mom. She'd play a lot of 90s RnB, and my dad would do the same shit or whatever. And it would be a mix of that and then rap and then all kinds of other stuff. But the people who do play or do music or whatever in my family, I have a couple cousins that play the guitar and that are in bands and shit like that. But I didn't get into actually making music until later on.
I feel you. So I know you were talking about your mom playing a lot of R&B. I know you've recently been doing a lot of covers. You've been doing a lot of Drake, a lot of Bryson Tiller. Obviously, You look at those guys as inspirations. Who are some other artists other than, your mom playing R&B, Drake? Who are some other artists that you kind of think inspire your sound?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, for sure, like you already said, Drake is a big inspiration. That he's been the biggest inspiration, I'd have to say. If I had to put one person as a number one, it'd be Drake. 100%. And then so I'd have Drake, then Bryson Tiller as far as singing, Chris Brown, who else? A lot of older artists that are R&B artists. I don't know if you know who Joe is. He's an R&B artist. He's way back,
yeah.
What's it called? Who else? I don't know, man. There's a lot of artists I take inspiration from, but the main artists are Drake, Bryson Tiller, Chris Brown. Who else? Who's another R&B artist that I listen to that's newer? I like Giveon.
Yeah. Givion's fire.
With him heavy, his last shit that he dropped or whatever. I fuck with it heavy.
Yeah, he's super dope. So obviously those are some of your inspirations. Who are some artists you want to work with as far as features and collaboration?
That's a good question because I've never really thought of are underground artists or mainstream?
Anyone.
I don't want to keep saying the same name, but I definitely a song with Drake. I definitely want to get a song with Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller more though, because I feel me and him have kind of a similar type of vibe or whatever. Whenever I do that type of
For
style.
Sure.
As far as not mainstream, as far as underground, I fuck with Sofego a lot. I'd like to get a song.
100%.
I would have loved to get in the studio with Juice WRLD. It would have been crazy to do that.
The unreleased games.
Unreleased song,
I have it on my iTunes. I've been listening to it all the time.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest features I would have loved to have. Either if I was on his song, he was on my song. I would have loved to do that shit. I always thought I would have gotten the chance if what happened didn't happen. Rest in peace. But yeah. As far as anybody else, I've been listening to what's his name lately, Wolfface Joey.
Oh yeah, super fire with his new song In This Club or something.
Bro, I think that's what got me hip to him or whatever.
Yeah.
I found it on TikTok. when you go on your For You page or whatever, like it popped up and I was like, oh, this shit is hard. Like when he does the little high notes and shit. I was like,
oh my God, it's crazy. Super catchy. So I know I mentioned it before with Promoting Sounds. You obviously got a ton of traction on their platform. How did you end up meeting the guys over at Promoting Sounds, or how did they find you?
Honestly, so it happened really randomly, like, because the only time I ever sent them a song or whatever, like for a submission or whatever you want to call it, I sent them a song maybe last year before I ever got posted. It was like months before I got posted. And the song that I sent them wasn't the song that they posted, which is funny because like the song I sent them, I felt like would have been a better song, like first song to put me on as.
Yeah.
It's my song Play Me. I don't know if you ever heard that song.
Yeah.
So that was a song I sent them, but I never heard back from them or whatever. And so I was like, oh, whatever, I probably didn't fuck with it. And then like maybe a couple months later, I had probably sent that around like the beginning of the summer, like I want to say June, and around October, I want to say, that's when I first got posted. But whenever I got posted, the day before, I want to say, they followed me on SoundCloud, they followed me on Instagram and Twitter, and then they liked the song that they posted.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't they didn't post it yet. So I was like, man, they either like thinking about posting me or they're about to post me, or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they posted me the next day, and I saw it or whatever. I was like, oh shit, like they posted me, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I never had a conversation with them before any of this. I never actually got to speak with them and be like, oh yeah, can you drop this or can you post this or whatever. I didn't have a conversation with them afterwards until maybe a couple months after that. And I was supposed to get I had a what's called exclusive with them. I was gonna drop something exclusive with them, and I mean, I still, would think that it will come out soon or whatever, but I haven't heard anything from them afterwards because I signed like a contract and everything with it or whatever, but it never dropped. So I don't know. Maybe it'll drop later. Who knows? But
yeah. So obviously you've been on a tear, like you said, with putting out just single after single and them just consistently getting better and better. I know you released a project, I believe back in 2020 called Long Overdue, but do you see yourself releasing any full projects anytime soon, or do you just see releasing?
I want to drop something either at the end of this year or at the beginning of the next year. But I don't know if it's gonna be like a full project. It'll probably be like an EP, if anything. When I do drop a full project, I'm gonna like definitely take my time on that, because the last one I dropped or whatever, it's my first project, but I wouldn't consider. A lot of people were like, oh, I really like your album. I'm like, it's not an album. Not an album, but what's called, a lot of people fucked with it or whatever, and I wish I would have took my time a little bit more on that, even though it is called Long Overdue. I wish I would have like polished up a lot more things. Like I would have done it a lot like way more different than how I did it then. But yeah, that's
100%. So obviously you're based in Houston. Obviously Texas and Houston specifically has just become a major hub right now in the game. Rappers, I know, like Travis Scott, Don Toliver, Can, the list goes on. Do you find it harder to break out in the scene because there's so many major players right now, or do you feel it's been more beneficial to your career because there's so many eyes on Texas as a whole in the rap game?
So I feel like it's kind of both. Like it's definitely hard still, but I do feel like, because of the big artists that are coming out right now, it is, attracting more people to Texas, and like the people that are coming out of Texas, the newer artists, like there's a lot of new artists in Texas or whatever, in Houston, people in Austin, San Antonio. There's a lot of artists in Texas in general. And because we have Travis Scott, we have Don Toliver. Those are like the two main ones besides, Beyonce and shit like that.
Yeah.
those are the two main ones that are like shedding light on, what's going down over here.
100%.
But before them, I felt like nobody was really paying attention to Texas, whatever, because Texas back in the day was like, more like some chopped and screwed shit, and,
Yeah.
older type Texas sound, or whatever. And I felt like that's what people were expecting us to continue to keep doing. But I mean, we still kind of throw it in there, but not like as how it used to be.
So yeah, definitely. So do you have any plans of moving out of Houston or bouncing around Texas, or do you just kind of see yourself settling down there for a while?
I actually really, really, really want to leave Texas. I'm tired of it. As far as like the weather, I just hate the weather here. It's so bad. But I mean, other than the weather, like I just feel like I need to move because I need to gain more connections and shit like that. There's only so much you can do in your own city, like, and especially if it's Texas, which isn't really like the best for like connections, I guess.
100%.
I mean, there's a lot of people you can meet here, but I feel like, you go to LA, you go to Atlanta, you go to New York for connections for music and shit. But yeah, definitely, I would like to move out of Texas, ASAP.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially for the underground rap, I know in Philly, Atlanta, all those places, they're always having shows for these underground guys, and I'm never able to find anything that's really out there or out here now. Just because I don't think there's enough volume of artists that like are gonna come together and put one on.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So bouncing off of that, I know you had your breakthrough almost during COVID, so obviously there was no concerts, but do you have any plans of doing any shows in the upcoming future?
Yes, I actually do. I want to do shows or whatever. I was supposed to do one. What was it? Last month or the month before? I think it was back in July. I was supposed to do one. I was supposed to be opening up for TheHxliday, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I ended up getting canceled. So, that sucks. But that was gonna be my first show, and that was gonna be a big first show for me. There's gonna be other artists as well, but like, for the main part, it was like, that was gonna be a big show for me. Open up for somebody like TheHxliday. A lot of people don't get to like do that for their first show.
Exactly, for their first.
Hopefully I get the chance to, either like do that, like actually follow through with that, like if the concert were to actually go through it, or I would have to, find another one. But shit happens. I was upset. I'm not gonna lie. I was really mad. Really mad. I was so ready. I was practicing in my room. All right, man, I'm about to kill this shit.
I remember you posting on your story, and it was like almost last minute that they canceled it, right? It was like a few days before.
Very, very last minute. It was like, I think 3 days before. They were like, "Oh yeah, canceled." I'm like,
oh my god.
And I had bought my plane tickets and everything. It was going to Florida. I was like,
damn.
I
feel you.
But man, yeah.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that you record all your music in your house. Obviously, that's pretty common with these underground artists, and they actually prefer it that way, usually than recording in some massive full-blown studio. Is that the same for you, or do you like also recording in these like other studios that you can kind of bounce ideas off of?
So I've never actually been in a professional studio. I've only ever recorded myself. The only other time I didn't record myself was like at my friend's house or whatever, because he has a home studio too.
Yeah.
But like, it was just me and him, like I haven't like recorded in front of like, a bunch of people or whatever in a studio. And like, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'd have to get comfortable with it. Like if I were to like, have to go to a studio in LA and, or like, let's say if I were to have like a session with like Trippie Redd or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd have to, like record in front of all them, like, cause like
all that pressure.
I'm very, I don't want to say shy, but like, I like to get intimate with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
It's a very vulnerable type thing, especially if you're making like sad music or some shit like that. I like to, be by myself. Either turn the lights down or, do some shit like that. I got to get into it. But like, if I have a whole bunch of people around me, I'm going to be like, fuck. Like, y'all gonna make me nervous and shit.
Yeah.
That's the part, like my thing. I don't want to be nervous when I'm doing this,
Yeah, because it fucks up the end product.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're not in the studio, what are some other things you like doing outside, whether it's hobbies, anything like that?
I draw. I'm I do a lot of my photo, what is it called? Cover art. I
Cover
make my
art,
own
yeah, yeah.
cover art. I make a lot of my own cover art. What else do I do outside of music? I don't really do too much outside of music. Like everything that I do pretty much revolves around making music. Or like I used to play games and shit, but I'm not really into that shit no more.
Yeah.
But as of like just hobbies, it's just, you know, I just be chilling, man. You know, if I'm because like, you know, I work full time and I do music, so it's like I really don't have too much time to just be bullshit. Like just to, I
Yeah.
don't want to call it bullshit because, you know, but like I don't have enough time to do hobbies
Yeah,
as I would want to.
especially. Yeah. So, final question, what is your favorite song that you've already released or that you're getting ready to release?
My favorite song that I've released. Let's see. That's a good question because I've dropped a lot of songs. Mm, let me go through and let me see.
Yeah, go for it.
Cause like it changes all the time. Like
I was gonna say, usually I get every time I ask that question, it's usually whatever song they just released is the favorite.
exactly. I'd probably say emotions, either emotions or lately, or like my favorite songs that I've released already. But unreleased, I have a lot of favorites. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like I save a lot of like my best songs, and I don't know why I do that. I don't know. I hold them in the vault. Whatever. Like there's so many. Like that's the last song that I dropped or whatever on Spotify, and you know everything else was fast. That
Yeah.
song had been sitting for like 6 months.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, man, I left that in the vault. Like I was gonna drop it with the music video or whatever, but I ended up not liking the music video as much, so I just scrapped it. I didn't like intend on scrapping the song. I just scrapped the video, and I kind of just forgot about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how shit. That's how it is, you know. I'll be forget.
Yeah.
I would make so many songs to where it's like, you know, oh, this is my new favorite. This, and then I forget about the songs that I made before. I'm like, fuck the songs I made these. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and also I'm like every song I make, I feel like it's, you know, it's just I'm getting better with each song that I make. So it's like, you know, let's say because I made a song today actually, and I'm like, okay, so I made this song. I'm looking back at my other songs, I'm like, this is way better than those.
Why would I release those if I just made this?
I kind of don't even want to drop those no more because I like this one better. But you know,
exactly,
it's like that with every song that I make.
100%. All right, man. Well, that's all the questions I have. I don't know if you have anything else you would like to add, but I really do appreciate you sitting down. Obviously, we've been in talks for a little bit, so it's been super dope to watch your growth. I'm gonna pop up all your social media on the screen right now, so go check out Taylor on all platforms. Is there anything else you want to close out on?
I just want to thank everybody. You know, I hit a milli today.
Sir.
All time, I guess, streams. So, you know, it's the first milli, but we're gonna get more. Like I said, I just want to appreciate all y'all, let y'all know that, you know, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and shit. And you know, there's gonna be more music. I'm dropping a new song next Wednesday on the 29th. So everything, you know, y'all gotta get ready for that. It's gonna be fire.
100%. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment on who you guys want to see us interview next. And yep.